Hi guys, this is Nikki Yu, also known as Business Trader, and you're watching the Awesome10X Philippine Market Update. Let's begin. All right. So the Philippine markets muna tayo. It's down to 6,518, down 26 points, down 0.4%. You could see mixed movements in the Philippine market. First things first, let's go to our stats. Go to the index first. Your market value continues to be very low at about 5.5 billion pesos. This is about 50% out of the average value turnover in the Philippine market, suggesting that there are still many people who are bearish the Philippines. There is slow recovery on the reopening with the added version with even if modified ECQ in the Philippines, as we continue to have so many cases and deaths in the Philippines. Here's your index movers. Let's read the following prices for you. Your BDO is 103, your SM is 972, your GT Cap is 541, Mega World is 369, Meralco is 282, Aboitiz Power is 24, Jollibee's 180, Emperador 10.4, Bloomberry 6.9, First Gen 31, JG Summit 60, San Miguel Corporation 118, SM Prime 35.6, Robinson Retail 55, Metro Bank 44.7, Globe 18.25, Robinson's Land 18 pesos, Security Bank 122, Pure Gold 37, ICT 125, AGI 11, PLDT 1240, Aboitiz Equity Ventures 35, DMC 5.3, MPI 391, BPI 82.85, Lusiotan Group 13.24, Ayala Corp 751, Ayala Land 34, URC 137.3. You can see that the Philippine market is very low volume traded, and a majority of the movement has just been really within the 1 to 2%, save for DMC falling down 7% for the day, and save for Lusiotan Group falling 5%. So you could see that the Philippine market is veering away from coal as we expected because the secular trend is solar. All right, so let's take a look at your stats here. All right, the top traded names in the Philippine market, more on the red side, only a few greens. You could see that while BDO is still in the green, 103.5, we argue that it's still stuck in a range. Your ASEAN, however, is one of the bright spots in the Philippine market, back to 774, nearing 8 and 9. So you're seeing that the market is truly into the solar secular trend. And there is actually an index constituent potential add for your ASEAN. We're taking a look at the movements. The market is selling your DMCI for ASEAN, coal to solar, which is really what's happening worldwide. Okay, so let's take a look at the movements. What are on the big red side? The big red side are your, other than DMCI, the rest are just muted. I mean, it's down 2%, 3%. So there's nothing much except that they're still in a range. You could see that although your land, your LRW down 3%, it's just stuck in a range for now. Your APL, your DITO still almost unchanged. Your Primex, your ABA, your FA, almost unchanged. Your FES, your Green, your BSC. So all of your speculative names in the Philippine market have just basically unchanged. Okay, let's take a look at the top gainers. All right, so your top gainer for the day is actually Now Corp, 9% up. And then it's 33 million value traded. Your Primex continues to be strong here, about 6% up at 318. So we are seeing Now and Primex going up 9% and 6% respectively. The rest, very little volume traded. Merrimart, at least very very strong movement, 563, 2% up nga lang. So, but still, that is considerably large given that the total volume and the total movement in the day for today is very little. Okay, worst losers. From a worst loser standpoint, your DMCI is the biggest loser with about 7% drop with a 72 million. The rest of the drop is related to lack of liquidity na rin. 90 million pesos, LR warrants down 4%. URC 142 to 137, trading range for your URC. Your BHI down 3% but very 20 million pesos, no? So you aren't really seeing much in the Philippine market. Let's take a look at any news fronts, all right? Sige. So you could clearly see that the Philippine market has very low volume. So that suggests to you a very bearish side. So when you don't have a lot of volume, it tells you how there is lack of interest. So how PSEI member stocks perform. Shell is eyeing a 20 billion budget for the next 5 years. Century Pacific backs a waste to cash program for sari-sari stores. Axelum is eyeing a bigger market share in US via e-commerce. Expect the changes in the rules to bring an IPO boom. Okay, let's read that. The changes in rules. Cebu Pacific replacing older aircraft despite crisis. PLDT is seeking a permanent solution to the row issue. Okay, so I think that okay, we'll read about these things. Sige. Philippines is canceling 38 domestic flights due to the restrictions in NCR plus the Region 6. Investors are lukewarm on JG Summit after posting a net loss. A loss of 468 million pesos. Okay, let's read all these things. JG Summit. JG Summit incurred a net loss of 468 million pesos, a reversal of its 31 billion income in 2019, as it took into account non-recurring fuel hedging losses and a one-off impairment charge from its utility investment in Meralco. Coming from a very strong 2019, COVID has truly disrupted our business, said Lance Gokongwei. Net income after tax just finished at 450 million, declining 98%. Revenues for the year declined to 221 billion. Food manufacturing URC is the strongest of the pack, with net income growing by 10% to 10 billion. The company gained market share in key categories through their BCF in the Philippines by introducing new products and keeping up with consumer demand. Net income of Robinsons declined 40% to 5 billion, taking into account interest expenses from a 13 billion bond issuance and additional depreciation of properties. Robinsons Land revenues decreased to 25 billion previously. The biggest loser, Cebu Pacific, losing 22.2 billion, a reversal of 9.1 billion income in 2019. That's about 30 billion pesos of reversal. Revenues for the transport airlines is down 73%. Passenger traffic fell 70%. And then your Petrochem incurred a net loss of 2 billion, a reversal of the income from the previous year. Despite global implementation of strict quarantines, manufacturing operations of our Petrochem continue to deliver commitments upon the restart of its integrated cracker and polymer operations in early March 2020. The bank income climbed by 30% to 935 million. The banks gained 939 million from trading, leading to a top-line increase growth of 13%. We want to continue to invest in necessary assets such as sustaining our pivot towards the economy, adjusting to lockdown restrictions, rolling out pickup stations in the malls, delivery, and personal shopper for consumers. We're launching our mobile app, our Bank Digital, QR code cashless solution Quick R, and Robinsons Bank Mo, where banking gets to provide basic financial services. So you're seeing that all in all, JG Summit has a lot to work on in its business, specifically the Cebu Pacific business. 22 billion pesos there. Not really their fault, but they're getting a huge hurt on it. Philippines Shell has a 20 billion budget. Okay, let's read this. New business model is calling for more mobility sites and import terminals. Shell wants to invest 20 billion as the listed company is shifting a new business model. 15 to 20 billion, we want to be continuing to do that for the next 5 years. Creating new mobility businesses. We are shifting to mobility sites which have more customer-centric offerings. Alliances with international and local brands coupled with full vehicle servicing such as car wash, oil change lounges, turning mobility situation into a one-stop community hub. To own not only to cater to cars and vehicles, we want to offer this to cyclists and pedestrian customers. We want to offer 60 to 80 new mobility sites. So this is more for the scooter market, reaching to about 1,500 sites. What exactly do they want to do here? New import terminals. Not sure about this trajectory, given, of course, in the next 5 to 10 years to 15 years, we have to be more solar enabled. So it's a question mark about this budget. Okay. Expect the changes in rules to bring IPO boom. Okay. Philippine Stock Exchange is trying to raise capital. And it is running behind as the country has a lower number of companies listed on its stock exchange. We are therefore relaxing requirements in both main and SME boards to list sustainable companies despite the challenges. Okay, we are attracting to dip our foot in the water, considering the stock market as their preferred avenue for capital raising. So more applicants in the small, medium, and exchange board because very good profitability and expansion potential, management track record. The second part of this roundtable discussion is set for April 27 to discuss IPO stories for the benefit of interested listing applicants. We want to note that the going public is a once-in-a-lifetime event for many companies. Okay, we'll see what companies they're talking about. PLDT seeking a permanent solution to ROW issues. Right of way, infrastructure. Okay. I support I think the only news that is worthwhile to read was the Philippine Stock Exchange supporting the PSE IPO rules, because that would allow us to get more jobs, because especially if we could give example companies like Angkas, an IPO. I mean, Grab is gonna get listed in the USA. Those are the types of companies that the Philippine market needs to list, because yung mga delivery, yan yung mga kailangan mo i-list. Delivery, COVID vaccine place, logistic solution for COVID, lahat ng COVID testing kits. Yun lang eh, di ba? They need money. The market wants those kinds of companies. Match made in heaven. Okay, Hayachi Nikki, do you think Robinson's Retail is following the chart pattern of Pure Gold? I think what Pure Gold needs to do is enhance because of chart kasi is just chart. Wala naman ngayon volume, so I can't. When you are doing a chart but there's no volume, you can't quite rely on the chart. Wala. Like, di ba nga, as a technical rule, if the stock is falling pero there's no volume, it's not really a bearish signal. Bumabagsak yung price, pero kung 1 million to 2 million lang, wala rin. Nickel play for FNI nickel, a bust? Not necessarily. When you have no volume, what's happening in the market is lack of liquidity. So there's nothing to talk about. Thoughts on NIHAO, MPI, yun. Wala eh. I took a look at the market. I don't see a strong volume in the market. So typical pa rin, unchanged. There's nothing wrong. You could see that, yan, ang natitirang volume mo sa market, ASEN dito, BSC, ABA, FNI, BHI, Vulcan, di ba? These are your Converge, sometimes has volume. So, NIHAO, it's not even in the top 30 names. I don't even see it there. So, di ba? Tingnan mo naman yung trades mo, stats mo. Oh. Top traded, BDO, ASEN. Wala namang NIHAO dito eh. Baka NIHAO nasa 99th volume. You cannot trade. Thoughts on NIHAO is no volume, no deal. MPI 360-380 has a buyer. Yun lang. I think that's what you could say in MPI. Pero yun, tulog pa siya, 'di ba? Tulog siya eh. Wala masyadong nangyayari. 390. May buyer yan sa mga 360 to 380. Wala rin naman volume eh. Oh. So, can't say much. You think we should shift to global markets already? I think that you should, because the opportunities are really not in the Philippines, or if there are any opportunities in the Philippines, ASEAN is just one solar company. You've got all the assets worldwide. So yun lang. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.